Presentation of the Women's NCAA Basketball Tournament is brought to you by Volvo. Volvo reminds you to drive safely.
Here are your first cross starting lineups in Knoxville, Oregon, led by Jody Runge. Will start Benson Boyer, Renee Fegent in the middle. She's terrific. Natalie Hughes and Lisa Bowyer. And you like Fegent, I know, Doris.
Well, both coaches said rebounding a key. Fegent has to be big on the boards.
And then for Pat Summitt's Lady Volunteers, Holtzclaw, we talked about. Conklin, a physical player underneath. So is Passion Thompson, Kyra Elzy, and Misty Green. And Mimi Griffin was talking about Kyra Elzy. She has played so well down the stretch of this season for Pat Summitt. Here's how Oregon got here. San Diego State by 12, and they shot very well from the field. Look at that rebound margin. That's terrific. Tennessee, a breeze over Grambling. 32 offensive rebounds, and they shot lights out. First meeting ever between the Ducks and the Lady Vols. Good crowd on hand, and there's the legend. And I mean, she is a legend already. 4 national titles, 23rd year here at Tennessee. Look at the winning percentage. She's amazing as an international coach as well. She just does everything and wins.
And those numbers are coming out of the SEC, the toughest conference in women's basketball.
The Lady Vols were 8-4 in league play, 24-10 overall. Oregon was second in the Pac-10. Great record. Stanford the only team that has a better. And there's the sweet move and the 2 by Holtzclaw.
Well, Oregon opened in a man-to-man, but Jody Runge said, hey, we don't think we can hang with them physically. We may see more zone tonight than we typically play, and that's the reason why. So Mikkel can take you off the bounce.
It looks like she's got an S hearted through her hair for Superwoman. She wears the number 23. That one almost got away. And she tells you straight out she wears it because she wants to be like Mike. So that's just tough, physical perseverance right there by Fegent.
Well, that's why we talked about her in those starting lineups. She's got to be huge on the board. Has the best size on the floor of the starters for Oregon.
And the ball goes right back to Oregon, tied at 2-all. There's a good look at Jody Runge. Just her 4th year, 77-36, a 68% winning percentage. When she got there 4 years ago, they hadn't won in 4 years. She's done a remarkable job. Tough underneath. They're going to say she was on the baseline. She's going to say that Passion Thompson knocked her out, but it's not going to matter.
Well, a little contact, but not smooth offensively yet. Oregon has to settle down in their half-court set.
A little gamble there, but it doesn't matter. Holtzclaw has Boyer on her.
Here's a look at the matchup zone we thought we'd see.
If that happens a lot, you can forget about any kind of matchup zone. That's Misty Green, and she'll shoot from the parking lot if you let her.
And I'll tell you what, she's the only answer, I think, the consistent answer against that zone from the perimeter.
That's a travel, the second turnover in 2 possessions straight here for Jody Runge's Ducks.
3 straight trips where the looks haven't been great. You've got to settle down. It's imperative to start off well here. You don't want this Tennessee crowd to get involved and take you out of your game.
And it is a good Tennessee crowd. You can see the sidelines packed. That's got to be near 3 seconds, doesn't it? They tie it up.
Yeah, once the hand got on it, that stopped. But that's the 1-1-3 look. It flattens out into a 2-3 after the first pass.
And the arrow goes against Pat Summitt's team.
Yeah, you got to get the ball to Boyer on the block. You've got to get your star a look.
Fegent from way out, and she makes that one look pretty. She's got all 4 of Oregon's points.
Well, she's versatile. She doesn't like to bang, but she does have the perimeter game.
Here's Elzy, who's been tough, and that's a charge. No doubt about it. Sometimes you wonder if when players get hot like Kyra Elzy has the last 6 or 7 games, they don't necessarily take it upon themselves to make things happen.
Well, this is the cross-court pass, and it forces the zone to recover quickly, and Boyer does a great job to come over and get into that defensive stance and draw it.
Jody Runge told us today that Boyer was not afraid of contact, and that was pretty evident there. That was a collision. Fijian's just going to try to pound it inside. It's just not there. Good D. Here's the triple. Nope. Wouldn't go from Natalie Hughes. Holdsclaw stops and pops. She got it.
She just puts such a tremendous amount of pressure on defenses because she can go quickly off the bounce. As you can see, if you don't stop her early, she'll get close and kill you.
You know, I love players who go 100 miles an hour, then stop on the dime and go up, because there's no way you can defend that, especially if they've got some hop, and she surely does.
Well, the numbers of women who can do that are increasing.
That time, Hughes got herself in trouble. I don't think that Boyer's had even a look, and there's a turnover.
Well,
that's the fourth on Tennessee already.
Yeah, that's a force from Holdsclaw, not the spacing to get that one to Thompson. But you can see Tennessee's game, they're all transition, and Coach Runge said, hey, we've got to stop their transition. Slow them down a bit.
Ashlyn Thompson's just doing a great job on Boyer. She hasn't had a look, and that is the third time that Fijian has been free.
And I'll tell you what, the Australians showing some things.
That's right. You talk about this team, 3 Australians and a Canadian.
Well, I'll tell you what, she scored on the block, she scored on a putback, and off the bounce.
And she's not a bad free throw shooter at 66%. She's got all 4 of Oregon's points thus far. From Frankston, Australia. It's a great story. She had a mutual friend that knew Jody Runge. And then Jody just started signing like Red Boyer. She'd never even seen her play. Signed her just because Fijian told her she was good.
Signed 3 kids, sight unseen. That's a big gamble.
Paid off. At 22 and 6, you can't argue. 14 and 4 in the Pac-10. Tennessee has turned the ball over 3 of the last 4 times, make it 4 of the last 5. Edamura will have it stripped by Passion Thompson, who's playing some kind of defense so far in this game. The triple would not go that time for Abby Conklin, who is their best 3-point shooter. She's made 38 this year.
The point guard position is all about decision making, and Rebecca referenced the fact that you set tempo from that spot. And Tennessee's gotten the up-tempo game going, but their decision making hasn't been great in transition.
Here's the double team on Boyer. Nearly lost it. Now Edamura does.
Been sloppy by both clubs, Sunday.
Maybe some nerves. LZ no. Boyer just out-physicaled everybody there, and then Oregon threw it away, and they need to slow down. 15 minutes left to go here in the first half. Jody Runge has to be pleased. She's hanging around with Tennessee. In Knoxville, the number 3 seed in the Midwest, Tennessee with a 1-point lead over the 6th seed Oregon. And the Ducks' best player is Ariane Boyer. She averages 15, but she's been flustered.
Well, this is just great denied defense, forcing Boyer to get out beyond that 3-point arc. She's not comfortable out there. And when you put it on the floor, you enable those guards to get a hand on it. And that's exactly what Misty Green does here.
Misty Green getting a lot of PT because Kelly Jolly has yet to play. And look at the turnovers. Actually, both teams a bit sloppy.
It's been very choppy. That's offensive number 2.
Very quickly, Kyra Elzy picks up number 2. And this is critical for Pat Head because with Jolly uncertain, already a point guard going, Lori Milligan, who was the starting point guard, she doesn't have that many ball handlers. She's only dressed 3 guards.
No, but you see she gets called for the clear. I thought the defense crowds a little bit, but when you put that elbow up right in front of the official, you tend to get it called.
Oregon with a chance to take the lead. Boyer and got Passion into the air, but then lost the ball. That's well short by LG.
Well, the freshman hurting Tennessee right now because that's a force.
By the way, Mindy Benson, a junior from Alaska, is in the game. She's a little bigger. And Jody Runge felt she might have to go a little taller. There's a triple from the corner. It would not go. It's still 7-6 Tennessee. Well, the Lady Vols haven't hit since the 17-minute mark, so they've gone 3 minutes.
Well, you talk about your point guard getting you organized, getting the ball in the hands of the right people.
That won't go, but a good slash to the hoop by Tiffany Johnson. Hey, don't forget, a little bit later tonight in the East region in Austin, Texas. Second round, it's Notre Dame and Texas. Notre Dame is 6th seed. Texas. Foul was on Mindy Benson, who just come into the game. There's the numbers on Tiffany Johnson this year. Not very strong from the free throw line, but very strong on the glass.
I'll tell you what, she was a large part of the reason Tennessee was able to win that national championship last year. Absolutely outstanding in Charlotte. Came up huge against Connecticut and Georgia. Absolutely huge.
You knock off those two teams and you're not kidding. Well, Connecticut could be an opponent down the line for the winner of this game. They lurk in that bracket.
Pressure handled beautifully by Oregon.
And Boyer finds a wide open player underneath. That's Mindy Benson, the junior, who just came in.
That's textbook press break offense right there.
That'll make you think about pressing them. The word on this team is they're very experienced. They really play well together. 6 of them have double-digit three-point shots, but they're not quick. But they look quick on that break. There's a foul, a good foul by Edamura. Cindy Edamura, the senior from British Columbia in Canada.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dave, I like the thinking with this matchup zone, okay? Because if there's one weakness on Tennessee, it's outside shooting. But how can you let Shamiqua get the ball inside that easily? And then in a zone, you're supposed to rebound better. But Passion does a great job getting to the weak side part of the board.
The Volunteers making the most of the hacks. That's 3 straight. And there's Kelly Jolly on a mini tramp trying to loosen up the ligaments in her ankle. Have you ever had that happen where it's not just a sprain? Sometimes it's less painful if it's a break, but to tear those ligaments is very, very painful.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I think this says a lot about Kelly Jolly and her competitive spirit to want to be out here on the floor.
Same thing for Abby Conklin. She's got a toe that she fractured chasing her cat. Tough play underneath, no call as the ball is knocked away by Tennessee. It'll belong to Oregon, much to the chagrin of the Volunteer fans here. Good fight by Benson. Lisa Bowyer, another Australian, will inbound it. Conklin was chasing her cat, hit a sofa, fractured her toe. Then somebody stepped on it later. Every game, she freezes it, stays in until the numbing goes away and it hurts, and refreezes it. And there's a block by Johnson inside.
And the freshman for Oregon, Jenny Moe, just...
Well, Tiffany Johnson's taken over. She makes the defensive play, gets down, and gets the bucket.
I'll tell you what, you need a score here if you're Oregon, and if you don't score, you need a TO.
Biggest lead at 5. Boyer has been stymied the whole night. Misty Green can't get it to her teammates. Finally,
shot clock at 9 here. Cindy Edamura has to see it.
She does, then loses the ball. That one is a shot clock violation, and that was just absolutely scrappy play by both teams. And applaud Jody Runge for not getting upset. She knows that her ball players really tried to get that ball to shoot it.
But how about the defensive pressure from the Volunteers? Holy Christmas, the Lady Vols, what they're doing is they're forcing Oregon to start their offense too far out. You've got to operate a little bit closer if you're Oregon.
Holtzclaw got to time Carroll. She's got 6. The lead is 7. You're right. Look at the extension on the defense, even on the big kids.
Deny, deny.
Nearly stolen away again. The quick hands that time from Renee Laxton, just in the game from Oneida, Tennessee. 11:41 left to go in the first half. Tennessee's on a run. It started off slow, but the Volunteers are now off and running. Welcome back to Knoxville, Tennessee, the Thompson Bowling Arena. And the Lady Volunteers off on a 6-0 tear the last 3 minutes. That's a good look at Lori Milligan. And there's Kelly Jolly. Boy, when the season began, Pat had Summit thought, I've got it made this year at point guard. No problem at all. And there's the two sitting on the bench in the round of 32. That's got to kill you.
The depth chart at the point is the null set.
Bowyer.
There you go.
But it's not there. And Holdsclaw got it, and Bowyer got her.
If I like, she took it to the hole, though. You've got to get a little bit closer. Tennessee's defense has forced Oregon completely out of their offensive scheme. And Coach Runge, I'm sure in that break, said, hey, we've got to attack. Go off the bounce. Get yourself closer.
They can shoot from the perimeter pretty well, and really, I think Jody Runge wanted that strategy. There's the triple from the outside. That's Conklin. Bad toe and all. And now it's a 10-point lead. Away from the ball.
It's going to go on Tiffany Johnson, using too much body to force Bowyer away from the basket.
That is the first on Tiffany Johnson. Word on her is when she scores 12, Tennessee never loses. She's got 4. There's Bowyer, and she finally knocks one down.
Okay, I think that's her first shot attempt. We played almost 10 minutes.
She got a couple of turnovers because of the double teams that were placed on her by the Lady Vols. There's that matchup zone. And Hughes with the steal. It's a foot race. She wins it.
Oh, nice job by Hughes. That's her game. She likes to create with the ball in her hands. Had to hang a minute to get the shot off.
She becomes the 4th Oregon player to score in the game. They are balanced, very unselfish, but they've had trouble with Tennessee's defense. Another triple from the Vols. It goes. It's Conklin again. 2 in a row for the senior from Charlestown, Indiana.
I'll tell you what, there are your field goal numbers, and what Pat Summit has done is she's put her 3 perimeter shooters in the game. You've got Conklin, you've got Green, and you've got Renee Laxton. Those are her best perimeter shooters.
Bowyer worked hard that time to get past Conklin and got it. That's a pretty move by Red Bowyer.
Tell you what, she's a very intelligent kid, a chemistry major, and just reads so well what the defense gives her.
Conklin again. Not that time, and the loose ball comes down to Oregon. Right? Fans here thought there might have been a push underneath. It looked clean to me. You know, Conklin's parents come to every game. They were here for this one, and then they had to go home quickly. They have a nursery in Indiana, and the freeze was coming. They go home and cover the plants.
Put the blankets on those precious seedlings.
They're watching their daughter stay hot, I can tell you that. There's Hughes who knocked it down. 2 in a row for her, and the lead is cut in half from 10 to 5, 9 minutes left in the half.
And Oregon all of a sudden looks a little bit more comfortable. They've settled down.
Well, it's intimidating coming in here. The first thing you see is an aura of orange.
Right. Hey, they're used to that. They have to play Oregon State every year.
One move. Wouldn't go, but it sure was pretty. There's an athlete. And we got to see one last night in Marion Jones. She's a Naismith candidate. Tonight we're getting to see Shaniqua Holdsclaw. It's not a bad deal we got going here.
No. I think Shaniqua has more tools than any woman in the college game, though.
Great play by Bowyer, but what a pass by Fegent, and a timeout called by Tennessee. Pat Summit says we better talk about this. That 10-point lead is down to just 3, and Bowyer has led the charge back. Sheehan Hughes. Hey, don't forget tomorrow right here on ESPN2, the Canucks and the Avalanche. The Avalanche led by Joe Sakic and Peter Forsberg, and by goaltender Patrick Waugh, who's tied for the league in shutouts. He's got 6. The Canucks are led by Alexander Mogilny, who leads the team in goals with 27. He's got 36 assists, and 63 points. It's the Canucks and the Avalanche tomorrow. Fire on ice.
Okay, the difference here, we get a little high-low set with Feagin and Boyer, and I'll tell you what's happening. Pathead Summit went to her shooters, but not as good defenders. And so all of a sudden, Oregon gets comfortable in their offense because defending are Brene Laxton and Abby Conklin. But now you check back in with Kyra Elsie because you need some D.
And Tashin Thompson, who did such a great job on Boyer earlier in the game. Misty Green off the mark, knocked away by Oregon. I'm enjoying watching Lisa Boyer go, though. She's a physical player. She doesn't mind mixing it up. We've got a television timeout. Just under 8 minutes left to go here in the first half in Knoxville. Tennessee jumped out big, but Oregon has answered with a 6-0 run.
Back in our college basketball studios, two other second.
Thanks so much, Robin. There's another triple launched by Tennessee. Conklin is having a game.
Well, there's another kid who has some versatility to her game. We've seen her knock a couple trays, but because of her size, she's also a pretty capable rebounder.
6'3".
Now Tennessee shows some zone.
Boy, when you've got Edamura and Kelsey on you, that's trouble. They worked it inside, didn't go. And is that Conklin? Yes, it is with the rebound.
It's a great look by Boyer, but I think she should have taken the 15-footer. She got the D off the feet.
Holdsclaw trying to make something happen. She draws the foul. And look at the leadership qualities there of Abby Conklin. Here's the game summary so far. The Ducks have heated up to get to 44%. Tennessee's been on fire. And the difference really in this game has been from the perimeter. 3 of 7, and Oregon has yet to hit a 3.
You call that one before the shot.
Boyer, by the way, picked up that foul. Conklin, who had it rim out. Got it right back.
Wow.
She's already got 10. She averages 11 and a half. And the lead back up to 7.
And all that on a sore toe. If Tennessee's to advance, though, she's got to become a consistent scorer and do this kind of thing night in and night out.
Feagin missed, and there's Elsie with another rebound. The Volunteers.
Wow.
Oh, my.
She is big time. I'll tell you what. She had a body on her, still knocks it down.
8 points for Shamiqua.
Your first step when you check Shamiqua better be on your heels and stepping back.
Just a matter of a minute ago, as you watch the Volunteers get it back, the Oregon Ducks and Boyer had moved to within 3 after trailing by 10, and suddenly it's 9, and the Lady Vols are again looking at a double-digit lead. Happens that quickly here. Tashin Thompson came in, and again she's done a good job defensively on Boyer.
We're showing a little 1-3-1 set here. Wow, look at that contact between Jenny Moe and Tashin Thompson.
That was banging. No doubt about it. Those two. Now, good job by the referees here to step in and sort this thing out.
We'll get a look at it. Look at this. Just their arms tangled. And Jenny Moe, the freshman. Welcome to SEC physical basketball, Jenny.
Jody Runge really likes her, though. She says she's going to be a superstar. Good job by the officials, who, by the way, are Bob Trammell, Dennis Green, and John Whitson. There's the double team. And Moe looking for some kind of room. 5-second call. Jody Runge's not sure what to do. That appeared to be just a little freshman mistake there. The 9th turnover on Oregon, and some celebration by Abby Conklin. She's going to go dip her toe in ice now.
It's thawed out. It's time to freeze it up so she doesn't feel any pain, but you can see the turnovers mounting for Oregon and staying steady for Tennessee.
And they did a pretty good job of taking care of the ball during the regular season. That one taken away nicely by Boyer.
Good strip.
Hughes thought about it.
Nice jump hook. Wow. I'll tell you what, they think she's athletic. She needs to become more polished. But that's a nice jump hook, and it's 6'5". Who's going to block that?
They like her strength, too. Holdsclaw working the baseline, travels. She's going to say that was a jump stop. But no one's buying it. It's still a 9-point Tennessee lead, though.
And she's a special player. If there's one area of her game that she needs to pick up, she's got to become a consistent defender. Her idol is Michael Jordan, and she's got skills like him, but not the defender that he is.
Hughes, no, sir. She hasn't been able to buy a 3 yet. Neither has anybody before her. Elsie had a very clean look there, just wouldn't go, and there's a foul on the rebound attempt.
It's going to be an over the top. I believe it's going to go against Passion Thompson. It is indeed.
Reminder, we got hoops for you all over the place. Tomorrow, the NIT. Hughes got creamed, and they call it a charge. That's Passion Thompson, and she has done one terrific job of defending all night long.
And that's her second charge she's taken.
And she's really shut down Boyer very nicely as well. If you're looking for a defensive star, she's the one so far. Great pass inside. Passion Thompson got the bucket. She's got 4 in the game, and there's an 11-point lead. That's the biggest.
The Oregon guards have got to do a better job pressuring the ball because those passes to the block from Tennessee are happening too easily.
Hughes got that good look. That time she knocks it home. So she's got 7, and it makes it an 8-point game.
Well, Hughes has been up big time. He's been averaging about 14 over the last 6.
Elsie with the one-on-one move.
Got to be a travel.
It is. I give Cindy Edamura some credit there because she really gave a tussle to Shaniqua Holdsclaw. And here comes Kelly Jolly. We've got a timeout. When we return, then she'll return. 3:21 left here in the first half. Tennessee with an 8-point lead over the Oregon Ducks. The winner moves on to the Sweet 16. Up by 8, and look who's here. Kelly Jolly, who wasn't going to play today. And she'll help turn that ratio around a little bit. Torn ankle ligaments, and they taped her up. She says it's almost like a cast that they've got on that left foot. Here's Edamura. She's got the open look. She bangs down the 3.
I'll tell you what, Pat Summitt told us before the game that she was concerned because this club shoots the ball extremely well.
Well, slowing down Tennessee and hitting from the outside with the keys that Jody Runge talked about. That was a nice look by Mo to knock that ball away, but she got Thompson with the body.
And they popped that graphic up, 4 assists to 10 turnovers. What a great look by Jolly to get that to Thompson, and we're going to see it. But again, the guard pressure allows this to happen because the entry to the block from the top of the key should not be that easy.
But it's interesting. Jolly enters the game, and suddenly the great entry pass. Thompson's 3 of 3 now from the free throw line. 5 points in the game, and there's the nice looking Kelly Jolly from Sparta, Tennessee. Good job by Boyer to track that one down, and Edamura's in a hurry. Tennessee got back, though, very quickly.
And again, they go zone. They've mixed it up.
Benson will shoot. That one not close, and Holdsclaw with another rebound. Volunteers have done a good job on the boards. They're up 3, 15-12 in that department. Jolly thought about it. She may be hesitant to shoot on that leg. That one rimmed out. It looked like it was going to go down for Tiffany Johnson.
Well, that's twice she's gotten her teammates great looks. And you talk about getting a feel for your point guard. Do you think that his post players are a little happy to see Jolly on the floor?
Their eyes got big. Edamura thought about the three, but it's tough over Elsie, who's much taller than she is. That time they set the screen. Not there. Mo. Good. Nice.
Great hands.
Yeah.
Go Motown. Go Motown. Great hands to keep it alive.
Give Oregon credit. Down 10. They knocked it down to 3. Down 11. Now it's a 4-point game. Good steal by Boyer for the moment, but Holtzclaw got it right back.
Check the quickness.
10 for her, and the fans love that quickness. Boyer's going, what happened? I had that thing. Edamura wide open. Got it. That's just a 2.
When they are poised, when they run their sets, when they use the pump to get the Vols off their feet, they look good on offense.
Under a minute. Lee Jean's halftime report coming up in a bit. Oh, that one, how did it not go down? That time it does. Tiffany Johnson's got 6. Balanced scoring here between 5 Volunteers. The lead back to 6.
Well, we spoke to Pat Summitt. She told us that they were going to try and test Oregon's interior defense. Passion Thompson and Tiffany Johnson doing a job.
Boyer. Oh, yeah, she got hacked, and she just powered her way inside. Hey, coming up on the Lee Jean's halftime report, we've got live action from Vandy in Kansas. We've got Southern Cal and Florida live action to report, and then Rebecca and Robin and Mimi will start the kibitz about the Sweet 16.
Here's the penetration by Edamura, the dish, the split, the bucket. You know, Boyer doesn't look like a kid who can hang in the air, but she showed us some time there. Love it.
Shot clock is turned off. That's why she's a Naismith finalist.
I'll tell you what, back the defense up with the J and pull the string.
And what a first half for that young lady. Just a sophomore, 6 of 8 from the field, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. But we've got a game here in Knoxville, 36-30 at the break. Let's go to Robin Robertson studio.
All right, Dave.
Welcome back to Knoxville, Tennessee. We are just underway. Misty Green came out and hit a deuce to open up the second half. It's an 8-point Volunteer lead. Here's Hughes. Can't answer. Here's a young lady, Fejan, who is really quiet after a great start. She scored Oregon's first 6 points and nothing since then. That time she draws the foul on Passion Thompson. Here's a look at the numbers behind that 36-30 halftime lead. Tennessee shot 50%. Normally, Doris, teams against Oregon shoot 36-37%. And then the front court points are really amazing because Pat Summitt said we want to go inside and test them there. Boy, did they pass that test.
Big time. She said that they test the interior defense. And Oregon, not a good showing there. Fejan was involved early in the first half, and you can see Pat, she's very upset at the official for that last call.
Conklin, who is so hot in the first half, remains on fire.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're Oregon and you know Conklin's having a night like this, you got a marker.
Over her average already. Averaging 11 and a half. She's got 13. Foul on Tennessee. Boyer gives Boyer 5 because she knew she drew it. It's on Shamiqua Holtzclaw. Did you see that S in that hair? Doesn't that stand for Superwoman?
Superwoman, absolutely. Shamiqua, we see ya.
Hughes. The athletic move wouldn't go.
Well, she's had a couple roll around.
Conklin again. She follows it up herself and draws the foul.
Oh, he's going to call two. It looked like a lot of ball.
Conklin is 3 of 6 from three-point range. On the year, Abby hit 38 regular season.
Conklin goes up, and see, the reason that Boyer can't check her out is she challenged the shot so hard. And looks like a lot of ball to me.
I think she got her a bit with the body.
There are Conklin's numbers.
I agree with you, though. As hot as she is, you can't let her have that good look. And there's Jolly. That's how she warmed up right before she came in the first half. Tennessee lead. Extended again.
Yes, they extend the D.
Ties their biggest advantage.
But Oregon's always been able to respond, Dave.
Well, you know, if Holtzclaw doesn't hit that big three at the end of the half, it's a three-point game at the break. And there it goes inside.
And just like the first half, they've got the ball to Feagin. I think they need to keep addressing things that way. Go to your big girl.
That goes against Oregon.
See, now when you shooters, I mean, when your guards dribble penetrate, if defenders would just come over and not be so tempted to try and block shots, but draw charges instead.
You see Boyer take a seat on the bench. She picked up the foul there. Misty Green, who is getting a bunch of minutes tonight because of Jolly's injury, is a very good free throw shooter, 85% of the year, and now she's got 6 points in this game. Lead is back to 11.
See, I think that they need to get Feagin and Boyer in the high-low set and let those two work, and there it is.
So look at Thompson just doing a great job. Feagin again. The foul on Conklin, I think.
You got to finish.
That'll be the third on Abby Conklin. It is not a shooting foul. That thing sat on the rim. I thought it was going to go.
Well, Hughes is the one kid for Oregon who can create off the bounce. And she's going to... Nice job by Feagin to hold the pin. But you got to finish down there, especially against Tennessee. She held the pin just short on the shot.
Conklin leaves with the 3 fouls. Boyer hit the deck trying to get to the ball. Elsie brings it up, and here comes Tennessee. Thompson hesitant there. Holtzclaw is not.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good thing Boyer doesn't mind being physical, because she and Passion Thompson are two solid frames that are really mixing it up.
Boyer wanted to go inside. It wasn't there. Lost the ball.
Got to be Feagin over the top.
It is. That's just the first foul on Feagin.
Well, Boyer tries to force it, and Johnson gets a hand on it. The scramble too strong off the glass, and there you see the contact.
Boyer did not have that many turnovers during the regular season. She is struggling with the quickness and strength inside that Tennessee possesses. They can build on that 11-point advantage. That's a double dribble call on Misty Green. The 11th turnover now on the Volunteers.
And Pat Summitt's club has had stretches where their defense has really shut Oregon down.
She's so cool, though. You never know whether she's winning or losing.
600 wins.
Well, you know, you think about Tennessee. Started the program in 1903. They've got 713 wins. That's more than any basketball program, women's basketball program in the country. It's nothing but tradition here. And that foul will go on Stevens.
You see the crowd really getting on top of the officials. The defensive pressure again being extended by Tennessee, but a lot of body out there. That's why the foul's called.
Feagin can't get it to go. Boyer's wide open. Yeah, she buried it.
I credit the bucket to Benson, though. She did a great job on the weak side to check in.
Boyer's got 10. The lead cut under double digits again. Give Oregon credit. They just don't say quit.
Look at Ada Miura deny. Holdsclaw, love it.
Oh, boy, that was close. Hughes did hack her, though. Hughes knows it. That's the third now on Natalie Hughes. We've got a TV timeout with 15:52 left to go in this ball game. Tennessee is up by 9, but Oregon's hanging on.
ESPN's presentation of the women's NCAA basketball tournament is brought to you by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth, and by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We welcome you back to Knoxville, and there's the Summit family. Welcome back. Holdsclaw just right back to work. Makes it look so easy.
See what I mean by the most polished offensive player? She can shoot the three. She can pull up in transition in the half-court set, like the little short corner area.
She can slash and she can go outside. She does it all. That's Hughes. Oregon stays within 8. Dangerous pass.
Yeah, back in the zone.
Boyer. Got it off the glass.
Nice. She did a nice job on both ends. They got in the zone. She picked the passing lane and able to finish. And again, they climb back in.
Boyer, believe it or not, is 6 of her last 6. She's got 12 points now, and she gets the shot. Things work, and here comes Hughes, 2-on-2. Hughes all the way. So a good defense by Holdsclaw.
We may have to see Jolly come back in for Tennessee. Because, again, the turnovers in half court starting to come into play.
She's still on the bench, though, and it didn't look like she was close to coming in. She'd already done that jumping jack thing. I should say jumping jolly thing.
She's back on the trampoline again now. She's warming up.
Holdsclaw. Look at that reverse layup. 16 for her. Leads back to 8. We're under 14 minutes.
See, now I may get in trouble for saying this, but Shamiqua plays like a god. And I think most players would take that as a compliment.
I think the great players would and do. Tough shot there. That was Feagin. She's got 12 in the game. Remains at 6. Tennessee just can't seem to pull away. Every time they do, Oregon has an answer, but they haven't been able to get any closer than 3 since the initial outburst by the Volunteers.
Look at it. She's taking over. She's taking over. And I'll tell you what, we talked to Pat. She said, you know, Shamiqua has taken the burden on herself at times when we need scoring.
She's 9 of 12, so both the scorers on these teams, respectively, Boyer and Holdsclaw, are shooting lights out. Great look into Feagin, and the foul called by LaShonda Stevens, the freshman from Woodstock, Georgia, who's started to play very well as the year has wound down. Mass substitutions here.
Look at those numbers. 18.
Look at the rebounds, too.
And 4 assists.
Wow. Complete game. Kelly Jolly does come back in the game.
Well, if Shamiqua continues to play like she does, she doesn't play long.
And a 20-second timeout is now called by Jody Runge. A little earlier, we talked about how Tennessee attacked inside. That was the game plan that Pat Summitt had.
We want to go inside. We want to test their interior defense early, and we'll see what happens on that. We've got to be able to pass the ball, and that's where the absence of Kelly concerns me. But again, we go back and say we don't have to do this with one player, and we feel we can do this as a team.
Well, they have. And then they had Conklin on the outside as well. But the majority of their points in the first half came inside the paint. That's what Mo wants to do for Oregon.
She's got some skills. I'll tell you what. 6'5". How about the drop step baby hook?
Soft hands, as you mentioned earlier, too. I like her a lot. 6-point game again. Holds claw. Not that time. Boyer banged into Mo. But she's okay. We got a game here in Knoxville. Dave Woloshin, Doris Burke on this St. Patrick's Day night.
We got it. Good defense. Good defense. And 5 seconds on the dead ball.
Jody Runge doesn't agree with you, but that was just effort by the Volunteers, and their fans appreciate it.
You see, once she loses the bounce, Laxton does a nice job of stepping up, and you can see everybody gets into deny. Once the ball goes dead, defenders get in deny.
Thompson lost the ball, then found it to shovel it up, and Benson caught her.
Well, you heard the clip from Pat Summitt a moment ago. We're going to attack their interior defense. You saw the halftime stats where they had 33 of their 36 points in the paint. Again, the entry. And the shot, and Thompson shows now 38 of 45 points from the paint.
That's phenomenal. And Passion Thompson has 5 of those 38. She's been the blue-collar worker inside and has really been outstanding on defense, forcing Boyer to come out a little bit. From the line tonight, she's been pretty good, too. 4 of 5. Boyer gets a rest. First 2 points for Passion Thompson in the second half. The lead back to 8.
And watch this pressure extend again.
Watching Kelly Jolly try to guard Cindy Benamura, and she's done a great job. And there's the steal by Thompson. We told you she's playing deep. She's got Holtzclaw. Didn't see it.
She makes a great defensive play, but she's got to get it out of her hands sooner.
Holtzclaw. No, and she's fouled from outside the arc. It should be 3.
And that is Bowyer's 3rd personal foul. We'll get a look at it. Holtzclaw just spotting up. And I think Bowyer's just thinking, hey, I didn't hit her that hard.
But you got her. Well, that might be the first thing that Holtzclaw has done wrong tonight.
There you go. First team All-American. The first player in Tennessee history to be a first team All-American. And you're talking about some players who have come through here.
And she did it as a freshman. She's only a sophomore from Astoria, New York. Famous high school, Christ the King High School. They produce so many great players. Only 1 of 3. And the ball belongs to the Oregon Ducks, and they need it. They need a break. We've got 11:43 left to go here in Knoxville. It's a 9-point Tennessee Volunteer lead. In Knoxville, we got 11:43 left to go. Tennessee up by 9 on Oregon. Don't forget later. Oh, we got some great basketball still to play tonight, and then North Carolina got a great shot in regulation with 5 seconds left to go, and then they took care of business in the overtime.
Tennessee goes to the 2-3, excuse me, Dave, 2-3 off the out of bounds, and Oregon answers with the perimeter J.
It was Hughes who made the shot, and then Boyer who hit the deck, and that'll be her 4th foul. So Jody Runge's going to have to shuffle the deck just a little bit as Boyer will leave the game with her 4th foul. It's a 6-point contest with 11:21 to go. This young lady really has played very, very tough and gritty.
She has, but you make a good point, Dave. Because the last time it was at 6, you said they just can't get over that hump, and now back to 7.
Seems like every time they get close, it's Holtzclaw who does something to hurt them. Mo with the rebound. That's another 1-point exchange.
Well, she's got some hops, Mo, too. I'll tell you what, she can run the floor, and
she's strong, too.
yes.
There's Boyer. She'll shoot the triple. It won't go. Holtzclaw nearing her 10th rebound. She'll have a double-double for sure in this game. And Boyer had to foul that time as Tiffany Johnson slipped in. That will be on Red Boyer, her second.
Well, transition gets defenses working hard early. And if you don't match up quickly, that's what you get. Would have been assist number 5 for Holtzclaw.
That one just missed. Junior from Charlotte, North Carolina, who had that great run in Charlotte last year. Just 1 of 2. So it's back to 8. Here's the zone. Holtzclaw took it right away from Mo. That was a dangerous pass, though. Oh, you know how you were talking and Rebecca Lobo was talking with Robin about how post players appreciate point guards. Did you see how perfect that pass was down below by Kelly Jolly?
And we'll get a look at it. You see Fejan with a mismatch out there, but look at the beautiful wraparound. See, guards have an understanding of how to get the ball in certain places. She needed to use the bounce to get the angle.
That was nearly 5 seconds on Tennessee. That's the first shot taken by Jolly, and she's Jolly. No pain at all.
And moving extremely well. Doesn't seem to be favoring that ankle at all.
Back to 11, midway through the half.
See, she's got good lateral movement.
Oregon really needs to score here. Fejan, she's the answer. 14 for her.
She's knocked down a lot of big shots.
I'm watching real close. Kelly Jolly does not favor one leg or the other.
Well, I'll tell you, the thing you watch when somebody hurts their ankle is their lateral movement. Not north and south, east and west you worry about.
Well, that one was circular. Boy, is she amazing. Looked like Baryshnikov there.
Look at this.
That's Hughes. That's her 3rd 3 in the game. She's got 8.5, 15 in the contest now. It's back to 6. They won't go away.
The Ducks keep quacking. I'll tell you what, that's a big shot.
What do they call the football team? The quack attack? Jolly again. Not that time. But Passion Thompson, it wouldn't go. Boyer is able to save it, then threw it away.
And she's upset with herself. She knows it. But really, there's not a lot she can do. She's falling out of bounds. She tries to make the great save. Good challenge by Mo to force Johnson into the miss.
Hughes, who's been red hot, has to take a seat on the bench.
Staying with the matchup 2-3.
Boyer's back in, and she's got 4 fouls. Doesn't matter. There is Conklin.
See, that's just a mistake by Edamura because Boyer had the top of the zone covered, and why Edamura ever turned her back on Conklin is beyond me.
Conklin's got 4 threes in this game. Boyer turned it over again. That's 2 turnovers in a row by Boyer.
And this is why teams don't want to come to Knoxville. And why Jody Runge told us she hopes that pretty soon these sub-regionals on home floors are taken out of the picture.
She said by the time we get our program to where it is, they'll probably have taken it away by then. But she said that's okay. That's a good thing, because if you send teams to my floor and we get big crowds there, we'll go to the Sweet 16. And it's tougher to recruit unless you go to the Sweet 16. Kids want to go there. Well, they're going to watch Conklin very close now. Misty Green forced that one, but it goes.
I'll tell you what, she showed me some things. I thought she was a stand-up shooter. That's twice she's gone off the bounce.
She's got 9. Guess what? The lead back to 11. From 11 to 6, 11 to 6 off of Tennessee. It'll belong to Oregon. When we return, we've got a TV timeout. They love it here in Knoxville. They're starting to smell the Sweet 16. They're thinking about Iowa and Colorado, but it's not over yet. We're back in just a minute.
What's happening out west between Vanderbilt and Kansas, nearing the half. Patience Grayer gets it down low, and the baby hook gets it to go, and the Jayhawks lead by 2 at the half. Southern Cal and Florida at the half. Florida big. They're trying to get to the Sweet 16 for the first time in school history. Back now to Knoxville.
Back in Knoxville, it's still all Tennessee. Kick means a new shot clock. At this place, Thompson Bowling and the campus of the University of Tennessee is just about a sure thing for the Lady Volunteers. 147 all-time here in this building. An NCAA tournament, they've never lost.
29-0. Ooh, Conklin took a spill.
She's getting up slowly, right on the western part of the state.
We've been talking about her toe all game.
Yeah. Just to go over that story, she was chasing a cat, stubbed her toe, and broke it on the sofa. Then it was re-injured in practice, and it almost splintered. And she has to constantly ice it down because of the pain. She just tries to play through it. And she has absolutely done that tonight. Look at 18 points, 4 rebounds. She's been amazing. And now she's going to have to put some ice on that toe. She's obviously in pain. Once again, to let you know, in Knoxville, Tennessee, Dave Woloshin and Doris Burke, the Volunteers up by 11. This is their biggest lead. They've had it about 4 times. Oregon keeps cutting it down to about 6, and then the Vols go on a bit of a run.
But time becoming of the essence for Oregon.
Misty Green almost lost the handle. There's 5 on the shot clock.
Too much bounce. Way too much bounce.
And a foul on the Lady Vols. Good hustle that time by Cindy Etamura. And that one's going to go against Passion Thompson. That's number 3 on her.
Back to the man-to-man for Tennessee. They keep switching up.
Well, they extend that defense and really make it tough. Here's Blair. It's a 2. No, and there's the nice one-hand rebound by Holtzclaw.
See, that's a great little defensive wrinkle, okay? Because they were playing straight up man-to-man, but that time they run somebody at the ball handler. Double team, everybody gets up, and they force Oregon to turn it over. That's a travel. It looked like a travel.
Well, Tiffany Johnson for a second there thought she was Shamiqua Holtzclaw.
Everybody using the spin dribble.
Hughes. Oh, boy, that's a tough shot off the window.
And it's a beautiful read because they were setting the pick and roll, and Holtzclaw leaned into the pick and roll like she wanted to fight over the screen, and Hughes took her the other way. Love that. Hughes
has 10 in the half, 17 in the game. She's been the big answer for the Ducks the whole second half. Nice dish by Holtzclaw. That's the second time that Misty Green penetrated and shot the 2. She's having a whale of a second half. 8 and 11 in the game. And here's the 11-point lead again.
Well, now Jody Runge is trying to tell her kids what's coming at them defensively, I think. Because both teams tapping their head. So it might be the trap.
Here's Green. She going to challenge Boyer? She does. It wouldn't go. That would have given her her career high. She would have tied it at 13. Hughes, no. Oh, that's a push-off.
Oh, I thought it was Thompson, yes. Is it Thompson?
No, it's going against Oregon and I guess Fegent. That, from our angle, and I got the feeling from Jody Runge's look too that this was a push.
Yeah, I thought Passion was using her right arm to clear here. Let's see. I don't know.
It did look that way, but the replay makes it look different.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I was fooled.
See, we get the second look.
Referees only get one, and they're usually on the money, just like that free throw. And now here is the biggest lead in the game for Tennessee at 12.
He wants a timeout. You saw Jody Runge mouthing it. Timeout.
There's only 5 minutes and 15 seconds left here in Knoxville. Jody Runge knows this is her last chance to get to the Sweet 16, and Tennessee's got the cards right now. Tennessee with their biggest lead in the game so far with 5:15 left to go. And a reminder, Wednesday night, again, your way on Wednesday. We've just gotten word on Conklin. Apparently it's not the toe. It's a problem with the knee, a contusion. We'll have to get I guess, update on her status for next week if she's able to play. If, of course, the Volunteers hold on to this lead.
I'll tell you what, if they hang on and Tennessee continues to advance in the tournament, I've got to believe that this is one of the best jobs coaching Pat Summitt's ever done. Because she's had some things thrown at her this year.
Now Boyer hit the deck and was way off on the shot. Jolly came up with the rebound, and now Pat says, hey, let's use the clock a little bit. Take your time.
It's a good timeout by Coach Runge because the lead was 12. We were getting at the 5-minute mark. She knew her kids had to make a run.
Yeah, she sure did. She was just a little too fancy for her own self. She's come in and done a nice job. Some great passes inside, hit the big three on her very first shot attempt. Look at the numbers on the errors. Pretty even. Well, that was an elbow right to the face.
Unintentional. The crowd getting on her, but that was really incidental contact.
Hughes, the great pass inside the Fijian. The crowd is really on the freshman Jenny Moe. I don't think she's going to let it bother her. I like this young freshman from Powers, Oregon, a very small town, small school. She's really coming into her own, though. Nearly lost the ball and did. She stepped on the baseline. One of the few mistakes. She's had just about a perfect game.
Here's a look at it. She's just trying to get some space. That's all she's doing. I don't think that's vicious. She's just trying to get some offensive space. And I like Johnson's reaction. She held her nose, but she never got angry. And I'll tell you what Runge has done, and here's a big recruit, Moe, because she's an Oregon kid, somebody that was very well respected in the state as a player, and she's starting to keep those Oregon kids at home.
Well, they did get 4 early signees. They were in according to some of the magazines, a top 20 class in recruiting. So that one was halfway down for Hughes. And now things look bleak.
Yeah.
Speaking of recruiting classes, though, how about 3 of the top 4 players in America, according to some lists, all signed at Tennessee?
Yes.
We joked with Pat today about possibly taking Kevin O'Neill's job here. The basketball coach who went to Northwestern. That will go. And now all of a sudden so much emotion and confidence coming from the Tennessee players.
Yeah, they've really settled down and taken over the glass.
Pat Summitt said, no, not with the recruiting class I got. I think I'll stay
right.
on this side. Stolen away by Passion Thompson. She has been the defensive star tonight. Another Sweet 16 appears to be on the horizon for the Lady Volunteers. What a remarkable program this is. And I agree with you. She does not have all the bullets in the holster like she's had. Great pass by Conklin. And Holtzclaw go to the line. Holtzclaw's got a double-double. 20 points, 11 rebounds. It's her 16th double-double this season.
Breaks through the trap. Oregon's got a double now and take some chances. And just, you know, Chamique, she's pretty. She's got a skinny frame, but don't let that deceive you. She's very strong.
You saw who made that pass, didn't you? As you look at the numbers, the difference from the line is amazing, especially for Oregon, who has had over 200 more free throw attempts than their opposition this year. It shows you that Pat Summitt decided early she was going to attack inside. We listened to her talk about that, and she has lived up to the game plan.
She is the master.
She also said that Holtzclaw, if her work ethic on defense was like it is on offense, could become the greatest player ever to wear the Lady Volunteer uniform. And that is saying an awful lot.
Yeah. The first player who comes to my mind in their history is Bridget Gordon. But I'm going to tell you what, there have been years where Pat Summitt's been accused of not having enough bullets in the gun belt. But I'll tell you what, and Mimi has made reference to this over the course of the tournament, Dave, the fact that Tennessee is always dangerous. You can never count Pat Summitt out because she's just a brilliant coach.
Well, they've been to Final Fours, not being a #1 seed. They've got Connecticut looming on the other side of the bracket. They would play in the regional final if they got that far. That's the one team that Pat Summitt has not had a great deal of success against. UConn, the #1, they've got to get past Iowa later today, then the Duke, Illinois winner, and then, of course, Tennessee's going to have to get past Colorado. Illinois is already in. So it's a couple of games away, and you know Pat's saying, what a job. What a gutty performance by that young lady, because she was hurt. And that's torn ligaments in your ankle. And, folks, if you've ever had that happen to you, that's about as painful as it gets. She played 14 minutes on that bad wheel.
And what bodes so well for Tennessee is that she had great lateral movement. Yes, she wasn't 100%, but yes, her movement's good.
Couldn't hold on. That's Betty Ann Boving from Danville, California. She's just in the game. And the last 4 trips for Jody Runge's team have ended up in mistakes, and now it's set in on the Ducks that this is just about it. But it's been a great run for them this year. They'll end up 22-7. That lady is really building a program there. We talked about the recruiting class. Second in the Pac-10 only is Stanford, and that's quite an accomplishment in its own right. I think she's about to really turn the tide there completely around it. A win here would have brought you to a new level, but it just wasn't meant to be. This Tennessee team is so tough. Thompson adding to the total.
And let's remember that Oregon is a heavily recruited state. They've had some kids go to Stanford, a couple go to Connecticut. If she keeps them home, she's going to get better and better.
This will be the last game for a few of these great players. That's not for Boving. Yeah, it is. This is the end for Betty Ann Boving. It'll be the last game for Cindy Etamura. Also for Boyer and for Feagin. Fans on their feet in appreciation. This will be the last game the Lady Vols play here this year. Well, she's just worth the price of admission.
Yeah, I know. I'm good. Go ahead with your bad self.
You've seen Marion Jones and Chamique Holtzclaw the last 2 nights. I'm going to put some pressure on you. Who gets the Naismith Award this year?
Hey, it may not even be one of those 2 players.
There's 3 others.
I think from a purely athletic standpoint, Marion Jones is a better athlete, but I think Chamique is a more skilled offensive player. And I know you disagree because you're shaking your head at me.
Let's take a look at the Nike player of the game and her numbers as she comes out to a standing ovation here in Knoxville. 24 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. That's the double-double and a half. Our Nike player of the game, no doubt. And you get a good look at that ass. I'm telling you, that's Superwoman. They love their Lady Volunteers. And that's it. 76-59 your final. Tennessee moves on to the Sweet 16. They will play Colorado in Iowa City. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Doris Burke, I'm Dave Woloshin. Now let's go back to the studio. And Robin Roberts is standing by.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. Coming up next on ESPN.